I'm Eric, I'm a game designer, and today we're going to discuss the world design of the Howling Cliffs in Hollow Knight, analyze how space is utilized, and how a lack of challenge is a reward in itself. The Howling Cliffs is a spacious area, with large jumps between platforms. This space doesn't just reflect the freedom that is out there, outside of the world of Hollownest, the lands which you are unable to explore, and the depth hidden in the lore and the setting of the game. It is also there to provide a contrast to the rest of the areas, indirectly telling you that there is nothing worth exploring here. Especially on the left side of the Howling Cliffs, there is little of interest. Only when you go back to the right side, closer to Hollownest and Dirtmouth, only when you go in that direction will you start finding new paths and secrets. This freedom and space in the Howling Cliffs is combined with a lack of challenge. It is a reward for finding this area. The lack of resistance allows you to focus on the exploration aspect and simply taking in the context of this area. Additionally, the challenges which you are facing you have seen before. All the enemies have appeared either in Dirtmouth, in the King's Pass, or in the Forgotten Crossroads. It makes sense that these are the enemies which appear, as Howling Cliffs is essentially an area before Dirtmouth and the Forgotten Crossroads. Why would stronger enemies be there if there is nothing of value? This notion supports the ecosystem of Hollow Knight, the hierarchy and layers of cultural complexity which are found in the enemies and their respective alliance. What is interesting to point out is that the Howling Cliffs still has sections of difficulty. The closer you get to the right side, to Dirtmouth, the more difficult platforming sections and overwhelming amount of enemies appear. These enemies shouldn't be a problem whatsoever, but they are. Instead of adding challenge through the difficulty of one particular enemy, the Howling Cliffs sections adds difficulty through the quantity of enemies, which is something you rarely see. Having several vengeflies charging towards you, whilst you're balancing yourself off a platform right above the spikes, presents you with familiar obstacles, but in more complex constructions. More elements you need to consider. The Howling Cliffs teaches you a valuable lesson here. Although you may think you've gotten so strong, and that there's no more challenge to be found in earlier areas, you might just be surprised by what you encounter. Even the smaller, easier enemies can present the real test when their numbers increase and you fight on disadvantageous ground. For such an empty area, the Howling Cliff contains quite a large array of secrets, charms, and NPCs to encounter. The Howling Cliffs may not be one big secret area, but it feels that way because of a large variety of rewards, in combination with limited resistance. The only thing which is really howling and scaring you away is the wind itself. Thank you so much for watching another episode of Game Designer Plays. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. And then I hope to see you back next week when we will explore the Royal Waterways. See you there. Bye bye.